Kicks 105.5. That is the Florida-Georgia line. And Dirt. It's 7:48 on a lovely Wednesday morning. It's time now for Good Policies, brought to you by the Barrett Insurance Agency, 748-5224, or online at thebarrettagency.com. In the studio this morning, Mr. Barrett himself.
My dad's here? Where is he?
Dad?
Where is he?
Dad.
Good morning, Val. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
We actually had a chance to talk about what we're going to talk about.
I know.
It never happens.
That never happens. We talk about everything else under the sun, but we don't talk about what we're going to talk about.
So today we're talking about credits.
Credits, yes.
All
And
right.
we're done. We talked about them. We're good.
Okay,
Moving
good.
on.
All right.
So, no, what I thought we would do is, in the world, and I'm going to keep this really to what we call special lines policies, which would be like a motorcycle, ATV, boat, recreational vehicle, things like that, home and auto.
Okay.
We'll keep it just at the personal side of things,
Okay.
not commercial. But everybody has crediting available on the policy. And if you actually are one of the few that open your renewal every year, the state of Vermont requires a lot of the companies or all the companies to have a page that shows you available crediting in the states. And so it's important to know.
It's state mandated?
It must be. It must be because it is it's in one of the cover pages of credits that are available in Vermont. Whether or not your carrier has that specific credit is it's kind of insignificant.
Okay, so let's explain, first of all, what credits are.
Sure. We'll start with the auto.
If you have a $200 policy, and that's just a number I made up.
Okay.
A credit, if you have anti-lock brakes on your car,
Right.
they may drop your policy to $190.
Right. There is a credit, that's probably like a 3 to 5% credit.
Okay, so ABS is a credit.
Yeah. Which I don't know why, because everybody has that.
What about those grates on your truck so you can push other people off of the road?
That's a 25% surcharge.
That's an addition. All
That's
right.
an addition.
Yeah, the bumpers.
No, but it's one of those things where if you watch the commercials or see advertising from a lot of the companies, they all act like they're the only ones who do this, the only ones who give this innovative crediting for all aspects of life. And really it's not that way. They may have better names than other companies. Some companies keep it pretty simple, but you get credits for having multiple policies with the same carrier. Yeah, that's a given.
Why would you? You mean home, auto?
All you need is more than one.
So if you have a home policy and you take out an auto policy, you're going to get a discount on your home policy,
Right.
because you're also taking out an auto policy.
Right. And whether that's always beneficial or cost effective is to be determined upon the scenario. So you could have a beautiful updated home and a horrible driving record.
Okay.
It may not be to your advantage to combine them. Even with the crediting,
Right.
It may still be better to go with somebody else.
Different companies.
But it is available.
Okay, so here you've piqued my curiosity.
Sure.
I understand ABS.
Yes.
What are some other automotive credits that might be available?
So a lot of the companies will give a crediting for passive restraints, airbags.
Okay,
That's
all cars have airbags.
I know. So some of these, you got to remember, these credits have been around longer than airbags have.
Okay.
Whether or not they're going to be taken away at some point, just say, look, they're out there.
Right.
But there are still older vehicles on the road that may not have them.
Right.
So that's why. Some companies will give you credits for having the daytime running lights, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Not every car has that.
I'm annoyed by that. My car, I can't turn the damn lights off on it.
Really?
I could get money for it. It's much less frustrating now.
It is, yes. Yeah. And anti-theft on the car. So if you have some kind of a disabling system on it, that will give you a pretty good credit.
Burglar alarm, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then for the driver, there's crediting available with some companies if you're a non-smoker. If you don't smoke behind the wheel, it's not a huge credit, but it's a credit. So
what about putting a dash cam in your car? Is that anything anybody's interested in to prove whose fault it was when an accident occurs?
No, I think that's more of a liability than anything else. Because you videotaped me without my permission.
Yeah. Okay.
But defensive driving is always good.
Oh, for kids,
for anybody.
For courses, yeah.
AAA?
AAA,
not AAA. You know what I'm thinking. AARP.
Oh.
They offer defensive driving courses for some of the older folks.
Really?
And those can be provided as certificates and given a slight credit with many of the companies.
Very cool.
You also get students away from home over 100 miles. We talked about how expensive it is to insure a child. If a child is over at college, and this is a great timing of the year to talk about this, so they're over 100 miles away from home, they do not have one of your vehicles with them, but they're listed as an occasional driver, you get a great credit for that. That's fantastic.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Good student credits for the kids. Hybrid. I got one company that will give you 5% credit if you're driving a hybrid vehicle.
No kidding. That's amazing. Okay, what about homeowner credits?
Sure.
What would you? I can see a fire alarm system. That would be.
Yes.
That's required now, I guess. Smoke alarms.
Well, every company, and if you're listening this morning and you don't have smoke alarms and fire extinguishers in your house, every company requires that. That's not, but they also give you credits for it, so you can get like a 2% credit for that.
All right.
A little additional, like maybe 1% credit for deadbolts.
Okay.
Of course, you get a loss experience credit. My favorite, I've got one company in particular that they really love to give new building credits. So if you build a house and you completed it this year, you're getting a 20% new building credit. And
Wow.
you'll lose 1% every year over the next 20 years.
What about security systems in a home?
Love them. Those can be like a 5 to 10% credit.
No kidding.
Right. Now, if you're looking to offset the expense of installing it and paying that monthly monitoring fee, you're not going to do it.
You're not going to make enough of that.
But, if you have a secondary home, there could be enough crediting involved there where it's really worth doing. You could
Wow.
be saving some significant money. We give, one company has lightning rods crediting. We have a company with low temp alarm, hardwired emergency backup generator can give a little bit of a credit. There's a lot of options out there.
That's cool. So,
yeah.
well, the best thing for people to do, obviously, is to talk to their agent to find out what credits might be available to them.
Exactly, because if you have a policy for any length of time, a new credit could have been introduced in the last year, and you may not be getting it. So always look into it. It's just a great idea.
Well, I know somebody they should call. They should call the Barrett Agency.
I was going to say, you better be saying us.
Good Policies brought to you this morning by the Barrett Agency, 748-5224, or online at thebarrettagency.com.
And, of course, on Facebook, Barrett Insurance Agency.
All right.
Have a great week, Val.
We'll talk next week.